Hey everybody, welcome back to the Chandie Speaks podcast. How's it going? It's been a fun week. Good morning, it's 7. Where I'm at right now, 7:39. Oh, I'm feeling silly right now. Kind of in a really great mood. Kinda is like an understatement. I'm in a really great mood. Got the energy this week. I know I was low-key last week. So thanks for bearing with me. Had a lot going on. I had a big week ahead of me that I was preparing for, and I didn't want to expose too soon, but I will tell you guys this week. I'm really excited, really happy. New chapters, new beginnings. Feeling real good. Real good. I took a road trip. I relocated. I'm in Vanlife. Van living, recording this from my van, per usual. And I took a road trip. I'm currently recording this from beautiful heaven on earth, Sedona, Arizona. The most beautiful place. Oh, I can feel it in my heart right now. My heart feels so full. And I just passed my 24-hour mark. I've been here since... Well, the 24-hour mark was last night around 6 o'clock. So it's Tuesday. I'm recording this Tuesday. I'll be uploading this on Wednesday. And I got here Sunday night, I believe. So, yeah. I got my notes here. I'm just gonna go through my road trip really quick. Because I think the journey here, it's crazy because, like, yeah, the decision to go to Arizona was instant. Hell, let's just get into it. All right, let's just fucking get into it. Because, like, I felt the need to to dive into myself. Or it really how I've been perceiving it, or how I've been seeing it, is sort of shadow chasing. Which I think is I think I'm going to coin that term. Or maybe it's already there. Because... the road trip, the journey, when they say the journey is more important or is better than the destination, it's more important. I mean, Sedona is absolutely beautiful. Oh my goodness. It's literally heaven on earth. But the journey to Sedona from Georgia was very important. I was like literally, so I'm driving west. I'm driving into the darkness. I didn't get any good sunrises. Mostly I was watching the sun go down or driving at night. And it was a full moon this past week. We had like beautiful full moon. I believe the next full moon will be the last full moon of the summer. So this was like, yeah, we're like in the last dog days of summer here. And I know what you're thinking, like, girl, you moved from like the swamp Georgia heat to a desert heat. Like, let me finish, okay? It's a different kind of heat, but I'll get to that. It's a different kind of heat. But I was driving into my darkness, so I'm like, I'm driving into something. I'm feeling like I'm driving into something that I need to, uproot, or something that I need to address. Shadow chasing is what I'm calling it. I was like, okay, and what other better place on, like, I haven't been to every place on the planet, but I've been to most of the best places in America, okay? And Sedona is it, okay? So much energy here. I'm feeling it, really feeling it. So like, okay, driving through Alabama was fun. I don't know, if I ever went back that way to the other side of the Mississippi River, then I might try Alabama for a second. I think it gets like a bad rep for whatever, like the history of it, but it's absolutely beautiful. It was the gorgeous drive. I had never driven through that part. I drove through Birmingham. I don't know, and into Mississippi. Alabama's gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. I may consider, if I move back to the other side of the Mississippi, I might try Alabama, the north part of Alabama. So that was nice, absolutely beautiful. Let me see, Mississippi. So then I drove into Mississippi. I have my whole route. Like, I'm such a a nerd when it comes to road trips. I have like my road trips, like every stop that I make, I make like a note of how many miles I drove and where I stopped, and then when I got gas and how many miles since I got gas, and it helps me keep track of how many stops I take in each state, and how many times I stop or I feel like I need to rest before I get gas. Helps me keep a good pace. I had a good pace this time, and I think it was because your girl was dry as a bone before she left Georgia, y'all, because Georgia's crazy illegal. Bless their heart. I love Georgia. Georgia's beautiful too, and we can get into why I felt like I had to leave. Just a quick version, like I didn't feel like I was growing anymore. I felt like I've gathered all that I've needed to gather there, and it was time for me to go get real, go get deep, go get myself to the next level, whatever that is. I'm feeling like it's gonna be big. All right, it's gonna be good. So I keep tracking. I kept a good pace this time, but I think it was because I didn't have any weed and I was hella focused. I was going through stretches and of 126 miles. Like my average miles driven was like 100, 130 before I felt like I needed to stop. Which was more than my last road trip. If y'all remember, when I went to Colorado, my average was like 60 miles. I had weed, and I was kind of dreading it. Not really dreading it, but I went to Colorado so I can renew my driver's license. So it was just like one little thing that many people may think is unnecessary, but this is a van life thing. Van lifers may get it, I like my Colorado plates. I had to go get my driver's license so I can re-register my car, yada yada. But it's still kind of a pain in the ass to have to drive 1,400 miles from Georgia to Colorado and then back to Georgia. And I was like averaging not so high. But this time I was like, I'd be driving for stretches of miles, just enjoying it, loving it, looking forward to it, chasing my shadows. I'm like, okay, there's something that I'm needing to address here. I got to do it. And I look up and 80 miles then pass. I'm like, wow, really? 80 miles? It only felt like 50, I'm like, fuck it. Let me just drive into the next rest area. And, I love road trips, man. I do. I fucking love it. I was really needing that road trip, but, that was beautiful. So I drove from, let me see, my major stops in Alabama. Shout out to all the people from these areas. I drove through your area, drove through Graysville, Alabama. Oh, Gadsden, Alabama. Roll Tide. I like Alabama. I like the spirit of Alabama. They get a bad rep, y'all. They do. Mississippi, like hot as fuck, even on the north part. And then after Graysville, I went to Hamilton, Alabama, and then I got into Tremont, Mississippi, y'all. That's the border. Mississippi is just mid to me. Actually, respectfully, it's just kind of really hot. And I didn't actually see, they got a lot of casinos out there. The first signs of casinos was Mississippi, and I don't know how that is. Is that I don't know, a Native American thing? I should look more into that. What's that about? And I saw more and more New Mexico too later. But yeah, Mississippi was the start of it all. Hot as hell. Bugs. Not really it's not as beautiful. I mean, it's not ugly, it's just not as beautiful as Alabama or Georgia. It was just mid to me. My I have a family, my aunt, my TT, she lives out in, where the hell is it? Tunica? Right at the edge of, right near Memphis. Shout out to anybody that's in Memphis. So I was like, oh, I'm actually literally going to be passing past Memphis, which is where she, whereabouts where she stays. It's 20 minutes from where she stays in Mississippi. Right on the edge there. That's a nice little spot there. It's just fun because it's right at the border of the Mississippi River, but there's like 4 states over there that like are touching. There's Arkansas, Tennessee. I didn't even realize I would be driving through Tennessee. I was in and out of Tennessee. I didn't even have to stop. I just had to cross the Mississippi River, which I love crossing. But yeah, I stopped and saw my aunt in Mississippi, and she told me, she goes, do not stop in Memphis. Because I wanted to actually stop in Memphis. Oh God, I remember being a really big Elvis fan when I was younger. We're going on sidebars, I know. Follow me, okay? This is going to be a good one this week. Probably I'll get into a good groove, but yeah, I remember being a really big Elvis fan when I was younger, and I think, you know, I was always big on music, and my TT, my aunt, I don't even know, I must just say, I call her TT. My TT stayed in Memphis during the time, and I remember going to visit her from Chicago, or from a northwestern suburb of Chicago, Scompton. Shout out to Skokie. And she took me to Graceland. She took me to Elvis's home, or my mom did. And it was just a nice experience. So I wanted to go stop through like Graceland again and just see Elvis Presley Boulevard. But she told me, do not stop. It is very dangerous out there. Crazy dangerous. And, you know, I took her advice. And I was like, all right, heard. I'm just keep on going. You know, it's kind of wild out there. You know, she's lived out there most of her life, in that area. And I love her. I'm so glad I got to see her. It's like seeing a nice, like, older version of yourself. I mean, my mom's sister. So, shout out to my TT. Yeah, man. Okay, so then crossed the Mississippi River, went up into Widener, Arkansas. This is all new territory for me as well. So I also bumped up my states. I think I'm at like 31 states. Something like that, of states that I've driven through or lived in. I've never driven through Arkansas. Arkansas was mid. It wasn't bad at all. Do I have any critiques about Arkansas? Let me look. 𝐼𝙧𝙀𝙁𝙁. Arkansas is not as bad as I thought it would be. I don't have any critiques about Arkansas. Oh, these bugs in Mississippi. Dude, I saw this big-ass dragonfly. I think that's like their state bug. If Mississippi had a state bug, it would be these like arm-length fucking dragonflies. It was just, yeah, it gave me like, I don't know. Gave me the heebie-jeebies. And they were all like flying at my windshield. Dude, R.I.P. to the thousands of fucking bugs that have like basically committed suicide off of my windshield and my fucking hood. I'm going like 70 miles an hour, you know, and Mississippi, that's what it was, man. Mississippi, their bugs were so fucking big and they're so fucking much, and they were literally they were like birds, bro, flying into my windshield, and like, R.I.P., bro. Oh my goodness. Crazy. And I remember I stopped somewhere, like, and I looked at my fucking hood. I still gotta clean it off. I cleaned off, actually, with the scrubber at the fucking pump, as much as I could off of my window and, like, the top of my hood. But then, yeah, there's still, like, splattered fucking bug. Yeah, yep, that was fucking gross. So, I was like, what the hell? I was afraid to get out of my car. It felt like they were trying to break in, bro, when I parked. Like, they were banging on my window like, bitch, let me in. Like, man, these bugs in Mississippi, boy. Okay, like, just fair warning. Oh, Lord, okay. I'm hearing my southern twang come out, my natural southern twang. Like, this is an exaggerated version, but sometimes it comes out. Oklahoma is windy as fuck. Where did I fucking go in Oklahoma? Pretty much all of Oklahoma. I was driving down I-40 and to the Top Hat part of Texas, and like it was crazy windy. I had to go only like 60 miles an hour. I don't actually remember seeing much construction this way. That on a positive note, as a whole, I'd say like there was very little construction going on. Most people during, at least on I-40, had their highways together until like around some parts of New Mexico, I would say. But Oklahoma, it's just super fucking windy. I'm gonna go on a little side fucking rant about these semi trucks, okay? Do I even have that in my notes? Is that there? Because I feel like, yeah, semi-truck drivers are assholes, okay? If you're listening to this from your semi-truck, let me just spit some game to you as like one of these, normal fucking drivers who don't think that they just own the fucking road, okay? They should get their own highways, I think. They spend their whole time just like bunny hopping each other. And it's like, why can't you just go the speed limit? And what the fuck are you really fucking transporting? Anyway, that's that important where you gotta be bunny hopping a whole ass semi truck on the highway. And then when they feel like they gotta bunny hop you in a little car, they feel like you're not going fast enough for them. So they try and run you off the road. And I don't normally do this, but this time I was not having it. I honked my horn at one guy, one time. A couple fucking times, these semi trucks, they'll not run you up, when they're merging from that one lane back into the lane, like in front, like back into your lane. They're not on the line. They're merging while they're still like in the line. And now I gotta move over and hit the ridges on the fucking shoulder there. And one time I'm like, dude, what the fuck? You don't own the highway, okay? Okay. Maybe I'm a little triggered because, and we're just going to keep it real. I had a family member, really, my cousin died from a fucking semi-truck merging onto a fucking highway, okay? That was like the summer that I moved to Georgia. Yeah, if y'all remember that episode of Vanlife Diaries, yeah, he was trampled by a fucking semi-truck who thought that their road, it's my fucking lane, so you got to get the fuck out the way. Okay, so let me just go on the other side. Maybe they do have the right of way because they're a fucking semi-truck. But you ain't got to be a dick about it. You ain't got to be a dick about it. That's why I think they should just get their own fucking highway or get special times when they can't be on the road or places like they shouldn't be on. They're driving down like everywhere now. I saw a sign that said no semi-trucks ever are allowed to park here because semi-trucks, they just park wherever the fuck they want. They bunny hop each other. They just park off of the side of, like, it literally says, they park next to the sign that says no fucking parking or emergency stops only or something. And they're just lined up on the highway exit. And I'm like going through it's going through a lane of like semi-trucks. I'm being boxed in by semi-trucks, Sheesh. So that was my little rant about semi-trucks. Biggest pet peeve for driving, really, and whenever there's construction, on the road, but there really wasn't that much construction. Oklahoma was super windy. I stopped in Henrietta, and I think this is just noteworthy. I went to the smallest Walmart that I've ever been into. I don't know. I don't often go to Walmart, but usually when I do, I feel like it's always like a city's block long of a fucking store, or at least a half a block long. This was like, yeah, very small. They had like one fridge. The left side was frozen, the other side was the refrigerated. Really small. It was a little cute little Walmart. I had to get some snacks. Yeah, New Mexico was absolutely beautiful. On this side of the Mississippi, so on the other side of the Mississippi, in the southeastern part, I think if I could choose, like, where I would live, where I would, like, plant my roots and just stay, it's kind of a toss-up between Georgia and Alabama. Alabama is more legal, weed-wise, so I'm thinking it may be Alabama. We're talking about the Southwest, now in the, the Southeast. Oh, I'm excited. But the Northeast, if I could choose any place to live, I'm actually not sure. I haven't really explored there that much. On this side of the Mississippi, though, New Mexico is kind of probably gonna be on a list here. I'm not sure when, but I feel like I could fit into New Mexico. I kind of fucks with Albuquerque. I really like New Mexico. Really fucking do. What else? It was a really good trip. Making posts. I've been like, I have like different highlights on my Instagram that sort of highlight each state that I've driven through, and a couple people were like inspired and messaged me and said like, oh, I wish I had the courage. Actually, my TT made a comment on my TikTok. I'm on TikTok now. It's crazy. So these social media things, I'm going to go on another sidebar, because like, isn't it crazy? Like I was talking to a friend here in Sedona, like first day, like with first day shit. I'm realizing like, it's kind of like weird, because here I am calling myself like a content creator, but like all these social media things, it makes me feel just like I'm, just wanting some kind of validation. And it's becoming sort of like an addiction. Wow, am I getting that real right now? I'm seeing how it can become like an addiction. And we were talking about this out here, one of my friends, and he said like, like, look at TikTok, okay? TikTok. You're spending all of your time, and the clock is tick-tock, tick-tock. Clock is just going away. TikTok. They have to tell you what they're doing for the magic to work. That's how alchemy works. And that just blew my shit right open. I'm sure like that should have, like, that's already like a known, but like this is new to me. I just got on TikTok, and because I'm adapting with the times, the kids are doing TikTok, self-promotion, that's just how it is, gotta listen to the younger generations. But yeah, I'm seeing how it's becoming an addiction, and that's the intention of it. That's the whole, by design, TikTok. Okay, and then we broke down the other ones too. Yeah, let's get into this. Ooh, let me get some water. Because, yeah, okay, so Instagram. Break down the words. Instant, gram, gratification, instant gratification, and that can become an addiction. Something happens to your brain when you get that instant gratification, and you can become addicted to it. And yeah, crazy, right? Okay, Facebook, let's see. We said it's like your book having a face. So it's basically like an online diary. It's like putting whatever you have in your book, and now you have your face to it. We can go deeper, but I think those are the big ones that we did. But it's so fucking crazy how I've been like, so I made a bunch of posts. Like I do my whole road trip, and I like highlighting it. I like looking back on it, and I think they're great videos and they inspire people. But then I also noticed, like, in myself that I was feeling like some type of way when I noticed like the haters, respectfully, like the people who were just lurking and just watching and not like reacting or engaging. And I'm like, fuck you. Like, who the hell? Like, I'm doing this for you, but really, no, I'm doing it for me. I'm doing it for the instant gratification and feeling like I need some kind of external validation. It's wild, y'all. Whew. So that's fucking crazy. So that's where I'm at with that. Yeah. I just gotta keep that shit in check. Yeah. Cause who gives a fuck? No one's telling me to do this. No one gives a fuck. And do what the fuck you want to do. But yeah. Really trying to, just keep it real with myself. Like, oh no, they weren't hating. I was just kind of, like we said last week, watching myself beat my own ass and cheering myself on. Oh, it's hilarious. Okay, so I did have a Facebook question this week, where I asked a question on Facebook this week. It was a good one because my TT commented, like, she said, I wish I had the courage to, do that, or do things like that, or do new things. And that's, the intention. Oh, I mean, of course it's self-growth and all that, but if I can inspire someone to, like, face their fears, all the better through the way that I live my life, because the fear is no fucking joke. So I asked a Facebook question about gaining courage to do new things and how we do that. And it's actually a really great post. I want to read the comments on it, but let me find the post first. Because, I forgot when I even asked the question. I had the road trip was like, I left Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I left Thursday first thing in the morning, and I got to Alabama by noon. That's what I should we're going to go on a different, note to my future self, just jot this down. I should have put timestamps on my road trip, notes, in addition to, like, my miles and stuff like that, because that would have been nice to sort of see my pace as well. But I got to, like, Alabama by noon. I was up in I was up in Gwinnett County, Georgia. And yeah, I got to Alabama by like 11 something, bro. I left at like fucking 7:30, something like that. I filled up around 7 o'clock in the morning. So a few hours to Alabama, and then did I sleep in Alabama? No, I didn't sleep in Alabama. I think I slept when I got to Mississippi. I got through Alabama in a day. That's probably, man, because it was the north part, so it's like a little slope. I don't know, it's like the straight across, you can get through Alabama in less than a day. But I got to Mississippi. I got to the border of Mississippi in Tremont, like around 7 at night, because I remember I had messaged my aunt when I thought about her in Alabama, like, oh, she's in Mississippi, and I'm about to be in Mississippi, like, tonight. And then she said, and so I messaged her, and she said to come in the morning. So I actually would have been here a day sooner. I'm happy that it turned out the way that it did. I got here Sunday night, first sunset in Sedona. But I would have been here sooner, but I took like a really long break. I took like a 12-hour break in Mississippi, because I would have booked it. I was like, man, I'm about to make great time if I wasn't smoking weed, so I was really focused, really sharp. And yeah, I stopped at Tremont for the night, and then in the morning I drove like halfway. I didn't even need to really drive most of the way to the edge of Mississippi, or to the Mississippi River. So I would have made great time with that. So yeah, it was a 4-day road trip, and hold on, do I need to make any other notes about the other stops that I made? Not really. Oh, there was gas station that was like, it wasn't a Shell, but it was like a privately owned gas station that also let semi-trucks come there, which is probably why they had a restaurant inside of it, and they also had showers there, at like 3 or 4 showers. So I showered there. It was like $10, which is cheaper than my gym membership, because that's all I use the gym for. The Planet Fitness is to shower. But so that's a good deal. But sometimes you're not running across Planet Fitnesses in the middle of nowhere. Where the fuck was that gas station at? Did I write it down? I didn't get gas there. I just, I think it was in Oklahoma. It was either, I think it was in Oklahoma. Foss, Oklahoma, I'm thinking. I think it was like really windy and like high noon or something, and so I needed to stop and pull over. So I stopped and ate, and then I went into the gas station to get some water, and I saw that they had showers there. There was only $10, which is cheaper than the other truck stops. Normally at like when you go to Love's or the TAs, they're like $14 a shower. And they've gone up actually since I used to do that. I used to do that like in a pinch. You need to take a shower, you don't have a gym membership, truck stops, yeah, that's a good. But I think last time I went, they were like $15, and you can have a really good shower. And this gas station, actually, they were really good showers. So shout out to that gas station. I'm pretty sure it was in Foss, Oklahoma. Foss, Oklahoma? Not sure. Yeah, I think, yep, because it was right before I got to Texas. I drove through the top hat of Texas. Let's see. I think also in a day, did I even sleep in Texas? No, I think once I got to New Mexico, I think I just went through. Is that what we're saying? Where was the last place I slept? Slept in Mississippi. And then I went through Arkansas, or maybe it was Arkansas. That's what it was. The next place I slept was Ozark, Arkansas. And then went through Oklahoma. Oh, I did sleep in Texas. That's right. When I got to the border of Texas, it was like right at sunset. It was nice. Texas, or at least, it gave me a good, like, this is your last bit of your southernness before you get to, the desert. Weed is still crazy illegal there, so it would never be someplace that I would live or think about living. But it was nice to be like, all right, goodbye to the South. We're still in the South. Now I'm like the Southwest. Arizona's a cool state because it's like the only state, I'm pretty sure, no, only state on this side, I think, of the Mississippi. There's a bunch of them over there where I was just at. But it touches 5 different states and another country. So I think that's pretty cool. So I rested in Pampa, Texas. Drove through to 𝘗𝗵𝗶𝘀. When I got to New Mexico at the border, I went to a Denny's. That was like the last time, that's what it was. The mark of when you're no longer in the South, honey, is when you stop seeing Waffle Houses and you start seeing more Denny's. And it's just, it's just kind of, it hurts my heart a little bit because I love Waffle House. I went to a Waffle House in, I went to a Waffle House in motherfucking Mississippi. That's what it was when I was waiting for my aunt in the morning. I went to a Waffle House. I just got some water there, but I stopped seeing Waffle Houses when I got out of Texas. Like, I started seeing more and more Denny's, and it's just, here we are. Shout out to the Waffle House. Love Waffle House. It will always have a space in my heart. I went to Denny's, and I was like, do y'all have grits? He's probably like, what is a grit? like, do y'all have grits? And he's like, no, we don't. So I just got some pancakes and eggs and bacon. Took a little nap, got back on the road. That was in 𝘁𝗵𝗶𝘀𝗶𝗄𝗵𝗶. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Definitely not. Drove through Encino, New Mexico, seeing a lot of Indian reservations out there and a lot more casinos. They're also really big on not littering. I see more signs, at least through I-40. I saw a lot of signs about not littering more. I saw a couple of those in Mississippi as well. But maybe there's some kind of correlation between, like, the amount of casinos that you guys have out there and, you know, the amount of trash that's around that people are just, like, don't care for. I don't know. Casinos give me a really dark vibe. That would be, like, my only downside if I ever thought about moving to New Mexico. Would be, like, I don't really see myself fitting in with that kind of energy. It's, like, back to that, like, addictive thing. Like, everyone has got a vice. We all got to get through this shitty life, right? It's not shitty, but you know what I'm saying? Like, no judgment, but I don't see myself, really blending well with that. Just kind of weird. Just a lot of, I didn't see litter. I actually saw a lot of people picking up trash, or maybe, you know, I did drive over some trash in New Mexico. It was just weird. Yeah, that was the only place through all the states that had, like, actual trash on the highway, which is weird, and signs that says don't litter. But they also had a lot of fucking casinos. And a lot of, like, Indian reservations. It's looking like, maybe I'm pronouncing them wrong, but, like, 𝗵𝗵𝗿 Nation, or 𝗵𝗵𝗿, or not 𝗵𝗵𝗿, fucking, I don't know, bunch of Indian reservations, and they're privately. And I also thought, like, hey, could that be the reason why it's, other than the litter, that why New Mexico is so beautiful? Because that they're being occupied by people who actually care about the planet, and care about the natural beauty of the earth. It is crazy beautiful. It's not as beautiful as Sedona, okay? However, like, it's pretty close. It's pretty close. Through I-40, which I also learned, or I remembered, I think I knew this already, that it's historically Route 66, which has some history. It's a 100-year-old highway. It's going to be 100 years in 2026. So I drove through that, and that was fucking wild. And, like, it's beautiful. And I think, like, hey, maybe it's because these people are keeping it this way because they care about the planet. But then I look at things like these casinos that may or may not be attracting trash, and I don't know. You know, I don't know. They get a lot of money, maybe. And instead of, like, you know, building, like, things that would fuck up the natural beauty, they just put a big-ass casino in a hotel somewhere and let the monkeys fucking fight for the food or whatever. I don't get casinos, and I'm trying to find, like, what, you know, how is it tied to just the amount of beauty and Indian reservations or indigenous people. I don't know if I'm being politically correct. I don't really care. Respectfully. I thought that was something I should ponder on. Yeah, because it's so beautiful out there. And then there's a lot of places where you can't even go. Like, Laguna. I stopped in Laguna for, like, a little nap. Beautiful fucking place. And I remember, okay, so I've only driven through New Mexico. Let me see. Total now, this would be the third time. Right? From that way. From Albuquerque. Let me see, because, yeah, the first time I drove through I drove through New Mexico, it was from Colorado. And then I went over into Sedona. And then the second time was when I was coming back from Chicago, and I actually drove through Oklahoma. Didn't remember it was windy as it was, and the whole full part of New Mexico, and totally forgot about Route 66 and just how crazy beautiful it is, and all of the, you know, Indian reservations and, you know, national parks, preserved places, restricted places that people can't go. This will be my third time. So yeah, doing it. Whew, I am high. Let me tell you, the first stop, okay, Sedona. Okay. It was home free when I got to New Mexico. And that's probably why I was like just like in love with it for the beauty. I couldn't live there for the casinos, and that part of I-40 was like kind of a shithole. Is maybe they're doing construction on their highway. But yeah, I knew I was home free. I stopped at a little store too off of Route 66 right before Albuquerque. Really nice little shop there. So I got into Arizona, and first thing I did, flew my drone at the border. That would have marked my third time driving through that exact same spot. And it was so nostalgic, and I was happy. I fucking came a long way. You know, I was driving into my shadows, driving into this darkness. We're going into the dark period, the hibernation period of the year. I got some big plans for myself. I'm planning on really trying to convert my van and make it completely comfortable and livable so that I don't have to migrate with the seasons. You know, I spent nine seasons in Georgia, which is the longest place that I've been. It's safe to say that I really like it there. I really do like it there, other than the weed, you know. But even that had its benefits. You know, I was forced to go through periods of time where I had to be completely, like, sober and you know, recentered myself, and that's good, you know. But, you know, I know that there's something that I need to get to, and this feels like I just sort of threw myself into it. It's kind of uncomfortable, but it's like in an exciting kind of way. So yeah, that's something I think it would push me more. Really just making it comfortable for myself to really live this lifestyle. Stepping into myself. Oh, the Facebook question. Okay, without further ado, I asked a question about gaining courage, because not every woman everyone has it. I asked it in a group. Is this the group? Yeah. I asked the question in a group because I wanted it to be as relatable to me in that moment as possible. And the group is a private group. It's called Black Women Who Love to Travel. And I identify as a melanated woman and who loves to travel, so I'm all of those things. And it has over 103,000 members. And I feel like, yeah, this is the kind of question that I need to ask basically myself. Like, we're all reflections of each other, and I wanted to inspire my TT kind of, and it made me ask the question, like, how can I? And I think fear is the big one, you know, like, you don't really, it creeps up on you sometimes, and you don't really know how to handle it, but you got to keep moving. So this question only had 38 comments, but it had some really good comments, and I'm not going to read their names because it is a private group. And the question I asked it 2 days ago, so like Saturday, I think. How do you gain courage to do new things? Right? I know it's in a group for, you know, traveling, but it can apply to many things. So this one lady writes, asking others who did it, prepare as much as you can and do it. Courage comes from action. I liked some of these. I didn't like react to all of them. I'm only going to read the ones that I felt were good, that I liked. This other lady writes, innate for me, I'm an adventurous introvert. So some people just have it. Some people just have the courage. And I don't know. I like to believe that I'm a very courageous, like, fear didn't get me this fucking far. You know what I'm saying? But I'm still, like, cautious or just a little, fucking terrified of what may come, or what I know that I'll have to endure, what I'll have to go through to get myself to this next level. And I'm, like, welcoming it, but I'm fucking terrified. And yeah, I didn't drive 2,000 miles to just fucking get here. I didn't come this far to come this far, right? This one girl writes, just do it and realize there's very little that's new under the sun. Nothing changes if you never try. That's right. You ain't doing nothing new, you know? This one girl writes, courage comes after you do it. Crazy but true. Right, yeah. That's funny how that works. This one's a good one. I loved this comment. It's a long one. I'm going to read it, though. She writes, I don't know. I've never had a big problem with that. I guess knowing that I got one life to live and it would be sad to never try anything different or things that I have interest in. I do quite a bit alone, actually. It's not that I wouldn't want to do it with someone, but people are busy. I'm busy. People are tired. I'm tired. And of course, sometimes people have different interests. And as you age, unfortunately, a lot of people won't do things that they don't want to do anymore for a friend or an associate. So, you know, at some point, I'm just like, well, I want to go see this movie. I'm going. I want to go to this play. I'm going. To drive an hour to it, I won't go on this trip. And nobody I know directly wants to go with me, but I'm going on this group trip anyway. And it could be much smaller things normally. When I travel, I try to do one thing that I would normally not do. So parasailing, I've done indoor skydiving, you know, just something different. So I think I loved it because she just sort of, you know, bared herself and very honest. And it, you know, and it's important. Yeah, it's important to do things in spite of the fear. What else did I love? I love that. Okay, this other lady writes, have a guiding plan with room for adjustment. Trust yourself and have faith. You got this, fear not. I love that comment because that's right. Like, you can have multiple plans. You can have like what you want. Like, I know that I want what I want to do. I want to make it here in Sedona. Okay. I want to make it work. At least for right now. That's how I feel presently in this moment. But I'm also planning on it, the possibility of it not working and me being okay with that and me knowing how to adjust and redirect. But also, yeah, I'm terrified, but I also trusting yourself is crazy big, man. Not even just having faith, because not everyone like, you know, but trusting yourself. I believe faith is very important as well. But I think what applies to like a lot of people can't listen to themselves and really trust themselves, or they have no faith, and it kind of keeps them stuck sometimes, or at least that's from my observation and my experience. Okay. Ooh, more water. Let me get some water. I'm feeling it, Sedona. Man, I fucking cried. I know I'm going off topic right now, but it kind of man, I fucking cried when I got to the mountain. It's like the mountain range that's in, like, I call it the pretty side of Sedona. Really, all of Sedona is pretty, but we say that here. I'm remembering that we used to say that here because it is objectively like the most beautiful fucking place. It's prettier than the other side, but all of Sedona as a whole, the lower part and the upper part, the west side and the east side, is beautiful. But I was on the west side because I was basically tracing exactly my steps from last time. And it's funny because, like, we do go in like a circle, dude. We do kind of move in like to inward. I like to believe like deeper versions of ourselves. We come back and do the exact same fucking shit. And it's like deeper versions of ourselves, or a better understanding. And I don't know, it felt like it was what I needed to do. I went down the exact same road. I passed by, because the first time I drove through Sedona in 2021, right after my divorce, it was like, I wasn't even trying to, like, that wasn't the original plan. The original plan was Santa Fe. I know I've talked about this before in other episodes, but the original plan was Santa Fe, New Mexico. I got to Santa Fe, New Mexico from Colorado, and it was mid to me. They had a beautiful, like, sunset, but it was just mid to me. And I drove down to Albuquerque, and I remember liking Albuquerque the first time. And then I'm like, I'm going to just go to Sedona. Once I got to Albuquerque, I was going to go to Sedona. Because the plan was to just settle down in Albuquerque if I didn't like Santa Fe. But it was just, yeah, I liked it enough. And I remembered someone told me to go to Sedona. And the rest is history. But the first time I drove through Sedona, I drove down to the west side to this park. And I passed by a 76 gas station. That's another, like, you can tell you're on this side of the Mississippi or in the west when you start seeing those old school 76 gas stations. Highway 60 or Route 66 is over 100 years old and people still drive on it, and it's so fucking crazy. A lot of fucking history over there. So these old 76 gas stations, I remember my first time I stopped. That was my first official stop in Sedona. I went in there and I just breathed it all in. It was just so fucking beautiful. It was like, I couldn't believe it. And I went in there and I got me some Dippin' Dots and fucking filled up some water. And then just like looked up a park to go to. And I drove to the nearest fucking park. And that's when I saw it. And I was like, this is crazy. This is literally heaven on earth. What is this place? And when I went there the other day, the first time, I just went straight to the park, right? I stopped at the dispensary. I'm not going to lie. I did stop at the dispensary. And, well, that was the first morning, actually. So yesterday, my first night, I did chill and I went to a bar and got a drink and met some really cool people there. And, cause I felt like I deserved a drink. It was my first fucking, night in Sedona. But the next morning when I went I just drove down the same highway the first time, and I could not, I'm like looking around like, are you guys seeing this shit? Can you see this? It brought me back to when I went to Guyana in March for my birthday this year, and I saw that fucking waterfall, the 𝘬𝗫𝗄 Falls waterfall. And it's like, if you don't believe in God, come on, man. It was immaculate, absolutely beautiful. When I saw it for the first time, I cried, bro. I'm crying right now. Trying to be cool about it. Man. And I flew my drone and I got, like I said, just a better view. I got a better view. We continuously just come back to ourselves. Amen. Okay. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. I'm going to finish these comments. We're coming up on an hour, and I'm going to hydrate myself and move around. I'm so fucking happy. Oh, I think I answered a question too. I think someone answered a question. Hold on. Bear with me. Let me get to that too. Yeah, so that was yesterday. I flew my drone. I had an interview in the other side of Sedona. And which I'm familiar with. I actually used to work over there, so I had a gig at a bar, at a pub. I'm not gonna name it, but whatever. It's a small place, so if you're here or listening to it, shout out to them. Cool people there. I have another interview on Thursday as well at a hotel, I believe on the west side, on the pretty side of Sedona, which I'm kind of leaning. If I could be honest right now, I'm kind of leaning more towards that because, I like money, number one, and I kind of just want to do something different. I'm still cooking. I'm still going to be a chef, I'd like to be a chef for one of these bougie-ass hotels out here in Sedona. I think that it sounds like it would be good money. Big tourist town, and I kind of put myself in a position where I'm really going to have to try. I'm really going to have to want to make this work. I'm going to have to stand on business, stand in myself, and yeah, just not let anything kind of deter me, because they're really they're not so keen on van life. And I knew this going in. Like, I already had this, like, I drove 2,000 miles like saying like, I'm going to make this work. I'm going to make this work, even though there are these little obstacles. And, you know, maybe I could be blowing it up, you know, in my head. But no, it's very real out here. If anyone who's been through Sedona, they know. So right now I'm actually parked on the outskirts of Sedona. It's like 5 miles from the heart of Sedona. Like, sleeping in Sedona is a difficult thing. But being in Sedona during the daytime, it's absolutely perfect. It's beautiful. I would just love to just be there all day. Just like, I know, I'm like, okay, we know. Just saying. If I can't put enough emphasis on it, it's definitely a place for me right now. And I need to make it work. I'm making it work. I'm going to make it work. And despite of all these little roadblocks or, you know, perceived roadblocks, maybe, I don't know. They're just future lessons, and I'm welcoming it. I'm here for it, right? I'm here to learn. I'm here to learn about myself, learn deeper. I'm here to inspire other people to want to do it, follow your dreams and shit like that. So I'm here on the outskirts, slept in like a dispersed camping area, got a nice sunrise, got a nice sunset, dogs walking around, we're chilling. It's good. It's good for us. It's good for us. I think working at a hotel would be good too, because, you know, other than the money, I can probably park there overnight. Because it's a hotel. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Okay. Okay, back to this post, and then I'm going to get to that one question, and then I'm going to get on out of here. Thank you all for listening. Send me your questions, 𝘗𝗫𝑠peaks@gmail.com. If you're not already following me on all the social medias, all my links are on my link tree. It's 𝘁𝗵𝗶𝘀89. I'm on YouTube, Snapchat, motherfucking TikTok, Threads, Facebook. I'm like everywhere. I'm everywhere, okay? Miss Globetrotter over here. That's another thing. We were talking about, well, me, myself, and we were talking about our next international trip. I'm telling you, y'all, like, I really am trying to make this next international trip be pulled out of my fucking ass. I'm trying to be that bitch, okay? I'm trying to remember who the fuck I am, and a part of that is showing you motherfuckers who the fuck I am. I'm trying to go to Africa by my birthday, y'all, and I'm kind of at this point where I feel like that may have to be pushed back. Actually, my passport's going to expire soon, so I didn't got much time left to plan my final international trip before I have to renew it. So I'm kind of maybe coming to terms. I'm still trying to walk with it, see how it sounds. It may require me to like trying to make it work here with this van life and what I'm doing here in Sedona, all my inner work. It may require me to sacrifice, or like an equal opposite force. Like I may have to sacrifice or make a compromise and be like, hey, you'll still get to go to Africa, but you may have to wait until 2027, which I would hate to do. The only reason why that's even on my radar right now is because of the hostility that's happening out on that side of the world. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going into the heart of it. I'm definitely not going. I would love to be able to go to Egypt and or Israel and over in that area. But no, there's a lot of hostility going on over there. That's why the tickets are so cheap right now. At least they were. I haven't checked them since I first checked them, which was like about a month ago or so. But it's redonkulous. It's crazy cheap. Like, pretty much that area is cheap. Flying into, war zones or what have you. So by 2027, I would like to believe that we would just been like, hey man, we're good. There's no more war. We're chill. Now it still costs about $4,000 to fly to Africa. Okay, we're back. We're good. I like to believe that all this hostility would just, they'll find some kind of peace or some resolution. Or we'll be dead, right? I don't know. So, yeah, I may have to sacrifice that. Like, a part of me is, I'm still on the fence about it. Like, okay, do I just book the fucking flight? You know what I'm saying? Just book it. And then whatever happens will happen, but I don't want to set myself back from trying to make it here. It's very important that I insulate this fan, get it to a conversion level where it's practical for me. Like, I think priority would be getting an air conditioning unit. I need to be able to regulate the temperature in this fan 365 days a year, always. When it needs to get hot, I need to get it hot. When it needs to get cold, I need it to get cold. Okay, I'm about to be on some, like, magician shit. Okay, I need to be in control of these elements. Okay, I can't have the elements be in control of me. So that's my fucking thing that I'm working on, right? And that might, yeah, it may require me to not keep my trips non-international for a year, which I'm still bouncing it up in my head. This one lady writes on the question when I asked, how do you gain the courage to do new things? We're almost done. It's not that many comments, but I feel like they were good comments. She said, I'll quote a book title of a book I read ages ago. Feel the fear and do it anyway. Absolutely. This one lady writes, I plan, over-research, plan, then execute. I'm not a willy-nilly kind of girl. Then I only pretend to be brave because I planned so much. Yeah, because there's only so much planning you can do, and sometimes it gives you like a false illusion or some that you have control of actually what's happening, like that you're in control of it. So we kind of tell ourselves that, yeah, we got this. We have to lie to ourselves first, and I don't know if that's true I feel like that's how I feel. Like, no amount of planning will make me feel like less fucking scared. So then I just like pretend. I'm just going out there like, yeah, I know I'm fucking scared, but I'm doing it anyway. And I planned so fucking well. And, this is going to work. This is going to work. And there will be lessons, either way. So I like that comment. This one woman writes, remember how she gains the courage is remember me at 5. Let that courageous little girl lead the way, like she did before the world told her about shouldn't and couldn't. She remembers being curious and daring. Let that little girl come out and play. I loved that comment. This one woman writes, I remember that life is short and I don't want to sit around in my 90s filled with regret, saying I wish I would have. Bless this whole conversation. I'm feeling it. Okay, I gotta get out of here though. This one lady writes, do it afraid, you'll just have to do it. This one lady writes, by intentionally challenging the narrative that's keeping you stuck. And I love that comment. Absolutely. Absolutely. Another person writes, prayer and do it afraid. And after you will say, did that. Hell yeah. This one person writes, just doing it. I've challenged myself. So just doing it. That's like, yeah. That's the common theme here. I've challenged myself to try new things this year, she says. I put my big girl pants on. And I think, last but not least, I love this comment. She writes, just do it. Ask yourself what's the worst that could happen and go for it. It never is as hard as we make it up to be in our heads. Get out of your head. Absolutely. Love that. Okay, and then I did get one question. I don't actually remember when I got this. It was a while ago. It was on Saturday. I'm pretty sure it's from a guy. I don't know. Where was I on Saturday? Now I have to remember because I wasn't where I am right now. So the person I believe that I am now since Saturday may have responded to this question or to this person differently. And I think in Thursday I was in, now I got to go back to my notes. Thursday to Friday, Saturday. So Saturday was, I think, Texas, between Oklahoma and Texas on Saturday. Saturday, yeah, I think I was in Texas that night. When I wrote this, so my last little southern part. Okay, it's anonymous, but he asked, I'm pretty sure it's a guy. He says, well, things have definitely changed in the last 2 weeks. My wife and I have been separated for 2 months now, and as much as I'm still in love with her, I can't sit around and wait forever. I'm talking to 2 people right now, but it's just flirt talking. It's nice to hear nice things back. It's nice to have conversations with other people. Am I in the wrong? Should I not be doing this? And I don't know if I would respond the same way. I can tell you what I wrote back to him. I said, I mean, if you have to ask, it must be something that's weighing on your conscience. So perhaps you are wrong, but that's really up for you to decide. One thing my ex-husband has taught me, sometimes you got to look out for yourself and take care of your own needs, which may sound selfish because it is. I really hope this helps. I feel like mostly the same. Yeah. If you're, what does he say? He's separated from his wife. So that means that he's not divorced, but they're like separated. But at least how I feel right now, I don't really know how what that means. 'Cause we were talking about this in the last couple podcasts about ethical non-monogamy. You can be married and have it be ethically non-monogamous. So I'm assuming that it's not the case with him and his wife, because he wouldn't feel so bad about it. So he's separated from his wife. So there's something with like his definition of like the sacredness or the institution of marriage, like what that means to him. Like damn it, I lost my train of thought. Yeah, I don't know what this guy what it means for him to call someone his wife but be separated from them. You know, I don't understand that. So yeah, we're moving into selfish territory. And he says, I'm still in love with her. So he's still in love with this woman who he's not with, he's separated from, but he like legally and spiritually or whatever, like, binded himself with this woman or, attached himself with this woman. He's still in love with her, but he says he can't sit around and wait forever. So he's waiting for her to what? Maybe they're separated because of something that she did or he did. Not enough context to this, but I don't understand why there's separation, that you're still in love with her, but you can't wait around for her to what? To like, remember that she fell in love with you or to come back to you? Why did she separate from you? Is it because you were talking to other people? Or because you mentioned that you want to talk to other people? Sometimes having that conversation with someone's like, hey, I think we should talk about, ethical non-monogamy or having an open marriage, and it could offend people. Because then now they're realizing that now they're not fulfilling all of your needs, and now you got to go find it somewhere else. I don't know. Or maybe she wasn't fulfilling all of his needs. Like I said, not enough context. He can't wait around forever, he says. I'm talking to 2 people right now. Okay, whoop-de-fucking-do. What does that mean, talking to people? Like, you're holding space for people? You have full-on friendships? Like, you guys are going out on dates? Like, what level of... what are you guys doing? But it's just flirt talking, he says. They're flirt talking. So, yeah, he has an intention here with these 2 other people, which is irrelevant, I think, because... that's what he wants to fucking do. He must want to do that. So, I don't know. He says it's nice to hear good things back. So he has a need that is not being met by his wife. Maybe she doesn't have nice things to say. Maybe she's a bitch. Respectfully. It's nice to have conversations with other people, he says. Am I in the wrong? Should I not be doing this? Well, on paper, like it's really kind of up for him to decide. He kind of already knows the answer if he has to ask, I think. His problem right now is he can't communicate his needs. Or maybe he has communicated his needs and she's not listening. One of the two. And so instead of communicating the needs or reiterating or fully detaching and letting go, he's finding it elsewhere. And it is what it is. I think I gave good advice, right? Let me know what you think. Leave a comment on this video, actually. I think that was good. I think that was a nice good podcast this time. Woo! I'm going to get out of here. We got to move around. It's almost 9 o'clock in the morning. I've been talking for over an hour. Love it. Love doing this kind of shit. It's been very therapeutic. It's been a nice ride, literally and figuratively. I'll see y'all next week.